perhaps building more and staff to be done, certainly over the past months, just with supply chain logistics, staffing, etc. Just the construction effort to get to this point is incredibly exciting. There's been double and triple shifts. You guys may have seen some of the scrimmages where the guys were up working and getting it ready. So we could kick off and play this afternoon, but obviously we're well ready for Saturday. There's a couple of things, just background on this project where we stand, and there's other things around the stadium. Very intentional about the design here on Williamson Road. Obviously you guys see the stats on the board, and you know it's 4.5, 5 times as big. So just like the scale of the board itself, you know, you can't miss it. The intentionality of the design here along Williamson Road, we spent a lot of time over the years through the design process in trying to script what this would feel like. If you recall, with the prior board, first of all, it was lower. This is now 20 feet off the deck. Before it was about 9 or 10 feet. So it's about double the height between ground level where we stand to the bottom of the board. And ultimately it's just much more open. It is fully open along Williamson Road. Before there was just a gate or two here where you could look in. And as we all know, this street, this area is certainly important for 7 Saturdays, of course, but for 365 days, there's people here just about every day of the year. And so how we accentuate this place on campus, sure for the 7 Saturdays, but throughout the year, and really the connectivity to campus. You know, this is really the edge of the athletics district, and certainly it's Neff Valley Memorial Stadium, but how we connect it and make it feel open and connected from Fort Hill and up to campus proper was really intentional. And certainly accentuating the connectivity to Scroll of Honor. And obviously the Memorial Stadium and scripting on the back of the board and how that is adjacent intentionally to Scroll of Honor Memorial Park. Very important, and how that was designed 10 years ago when the prior board was input, but how we continued and emphasized this relationship, what that means for Clemson football and Clemson athletics, but really for university and campus and the history of this place, literally this place, but let alone how we fit within campus. So by design, significantly. Flagpole's moved over here. It was on the northeast corner, now it's on the southeast. We'll have the Scardon recognition there as well, and some other memorial stadium and our military heritage recognitions there. We do know too that the stadium, we found out the stadium was never officially dedicated back in 1942 and thereafter, and so we do have some plans for later on in the season. We have to work throughout campus on some things to have a little bit more of a ceremonial dedication within the stadium, and how that again focuses with Scroll of Honor behind us and Scardon statue, flagpole, etc. here in the stadium. So excited about that. Obviously some other additions. The video boards on the west that flank the side are the same size, but obviously the pixels and the screen themselves have been updated and are resolute, just like the one above us. I know a decade ago, which was before I was here, but there was a domino effect of replacing the board and how that went to Riggs for soccer, Benjamin soccer, and to Kingsmore. And so you've seen obviously at Riggs a new video board there as well. You may see Kingsmore that is not up yet. Obviously we have a little bit more time with baseball, but those will have new boards as well. The difference from a decade ago to now, a decade ago there was literally these panels were moved and replaced on those two facilities. That's not the case this year, just with the cost of the technology. It was actually more cost efficient to just replace those boards in and of themselves, so they are not duplicated from the old board here, but obviously from a scale and a pricing standpoint, we lumped them all together just to have the impact for football in the Valley, but also for Riggs and for Kingsmore as well. So those are, Riggs is obviously completed up and running, and Kingsmore will be later this fall. So excited about that. Obviously the ribbon boards are replaced as well, up and operational, and then very different design with the Ring of Honor. How we've really flipped the recognition of the former players that are here. We've made some space for some additional student athletes on the Ring of Honor for years to come, and obviously the recognition of the years here and the backlit of Clemson welcomes you to Death Valley. I think Jeff later will have some of the light shows, and obviously it doesn't show as well during the day. And for Furman, we're still going to have the activity of the LED lights and the theatrics of that. But for the second home game, Louisiana Tech, 8 o'clock game is where it's going to be in all its full glory of what the experience will be with video board, new sound system, and then the lights and those features and how we accentuate that for this moment here, the most exciting 25 seconds, and then obviously throughout the game will just be an incredibly different and new experience for all 80,000. So as we look at that from a fan experience standpoint, and Jeff had mentioned John Allen's here, so we've really reorganized a bit of our marketing and fan experience, staffing inside the department to continue to accentuate just that fan experience side of it. It's easy to say, but my point is we have a lot of intention about how we're staffing and projects and what that experience looks like in all of our venues, but obviously 7 Saturdays here in the Valley is really, really important. So I think those are my main notes for the improvements in this project as we unveil it this Saturday. Jeff, I know we're going to have time over across to get into a lot of other topics. While we're here, anything from a facility or board, things like that, just while we're on the topic of facilities. Yeah, Trevor?
Hey, Graham, notice on the Ring of Honor, we dropped the icons for Frank Howard, Bob Bradley, Banks McFadden. Will those be added at some point, or are you just going to leave those off?
Yeah, not planning on it. Yeah, so because Banks had the hat and Danny Ford had the hat and Bradley had the typewriter. Yeah, so just from a spacing standpoint, not planning to, obviously the players with the numbers, but for Danny and Bob Bradley, they're just going to be as is.
Were you surprised at the attention that the building construction of this received from message boards, social media, et cetera, et cetera?
Yeah, surprised, gosh, with the passion of our fans, I don't know that it surprised me. But I felt the urgency because I think a lot of the attention was, hey, they're going to be done. You know, I certainly got a lot of the questions of that just within different audiences. So I can appreciate that as we got into summer and that we were like, hey, are we going to be done? That was certainly top of mind. So excited for it, and to be able to unveil it and to be ready to kick it off is important.
I'm interested in the innovative noise and light diminishment for sensitive fans.
Yeah.
How exactly does that work?
Yeah, so our certification with that for all of our venues, not just the Valley, but from that sensitivity certification is really important. So functionally what that looks like is we'll have bags. They're kind of book bags with different things, fidget spinners, headphones, etc., for those that can need them, and essentially check them out. So we'll have hundreds of those available throughout the stadium. Just because of the recognition of, certainly from a light standpoint, whether it's the board or the lights themselves, that gosh, it's just going to be a different environment. We want to be very amenable and providing for all of those to be able to experience that in the stadium. My boys included, quite frankly. And so there'll be some more communication coming out with that leading into Saturday, but it'll ultimately be items available for patrons to stop by for free to pick those up, just to be able to be here despite the new theatrics.